Hello everyone, here is the Power Awakening second part with Eirik. We already discussed some part of the relationship topics because it's summertime and we both working on it. We help people to find the right partnership, feel good, have a good and joyful life. And in this episode we will talk about the preventive work that is needed to have a partner that I really want to be with and maintain the relationship. Eirik, those who's joining this episode, can you please tell our audience how do you help these people?
So I'm a chiropractor, been working for 25 years, mind, body, spirit. When I was a chiropractor, I realized that the physical pain was due to emotional pain, stress pain, thinking too much blaming and shaming in their world. So now I work in a lot of different sectors in business, but also work with a lot of men, and I work with a lot of relationships on the topics of communion, on how to stay together, having a union as two partners. And also how they can each individually look after their own sensuality, their own sexuality, their own intimate relationship with themselves. Yeah, short term. I think summarizing, I think the most important thing that I facilitate people is to allow them to understand that they need to handle pain and the intensity of being uncomfortable. I think society has come to such a comfortable level that the people growing up now, I'm pushing 50, but the people who are younger than me, they don't know how to deal with pain. They don't know how to deal with the intensity of being triggered or the intensity of being uncomfortable. So I think that's my most important work, is to focus that and help them to handle the intensity and know how to work with the pain, because pain is basically love.
What came up about this immediately is people avoid pain.
Yeah.
That's the natural reaction of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the scale with the pain, a lot of things in that. And then you have to put something here to balance out the pain.
Mm-hmm.
It can be alcohol, drugs, scrolling, TV, any kinds of numbing and temporarily pleasure thing. So it can feel like, okay, I'm back in balance. But then next day when I wake up, so what can we do with the heavy part of the scale? Finding something that makes us balanced. Plus we need mental tools to reach this balance. So having substances and all kinds of outside things that you have to consume to feel better, it's not a...
That's a huge problem. Because when you constantly using substances to feel better or to work or to work on yourself or to change, you get dependent on that in order to change, which is a big problem, because you get disassociated with the pain, with the problem. It makes it less real, and you get a shortcut in order to get there. The interesting thing with pain is that pain and pleasure is two sides of the same coin. And chemically in your brain, they're very interconnected. So for example, if you take the most extreme example is heroin junkies, heroin addicts. When they take a shot of heroin, the amount of pleasure that arises in their body is like walking on clouds in heaven, is what they say. But when they're off it, it's the worst pain in hell. And that's how our pain and pleasure receptors are working together. So pain and pleasure are very interconnected. So if you do too much pleasure, eventually it's going to turn into pain. If you're too much involved in pain, eventually it's going to turn to pleasure. So you want to learn how to handle pain as sober as you can. And that is the hard part in this really fucked up society we live in. That's why Norway is on top 5 on MDMA and cocaine. And I also think amphetamine. of all the capitals in the world, we're top 5 on MDMA, cocaine, and amphetamine. And cocaine is the substance for becoming a king or a queen or a confident, you know. MDMA is the substance for love and connection, you know. Amphetamine is, I don't know what amphetamine is, but I think it's like going forever, discipline and structure, just go, 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 go. So I think society is lacking these qualities, and I think substances creates a problem when we use substances in order to change.
So basically the preventive work, which is the part of this episode topic, is if you are on something, coping, the preventive measure to do before entering a relationship is to get into balance without these coping mechanisms.
Yes, fuck yes.
And we're just talking about relationship, but think about if you want a family. Imagine, but just think about, not imagine, think about it. You have a kid, and that kid is looking at a father who's drinking, using drugs, and not available because it's just away with disturbing thoughts and all this. Do you want this to give to the next generation? No, I hope not. What we want to give is how to just be good, how to feel good, how to make myself feel awesome, how to maintain my family as a loving, nice home, how to reach that. This is a hard work.
Yes. And also, the funny thing is that where is it that people are using these substances the most? Festivals, parties, events, where they're trying to meet their future partner, you know? A lot of single people looking for a partner, they go to parties and they do drugs in order to be in the right energy in order to attract a partner. And it's just really weird. So I think the most important thing we do preventatively is to have so much self-love for ourselves that we don't need anything. When you really don't need anything at all, people find you attractive. And that is not just my experience, but that is also the experience of a lot of men and women that I know that are very, very successful in life, successful in business, successful in partners. When you need nothing, you are very attractive. It's very interesting. So, and you don't need anything if you have the highest self-love that can be attained out there, you know. It doesn't mean you're gonna sit like this and find self-love. Self-love can be in your discipline, it could be in your structure, it could be in working out, it could be in healthy food habits, it could be in tantric practices, it could be in any kind of direction. So yeah.
Plus being aware what's going on inside and what I do with this inside. Because many times it's people don't know what is this constant talking about all kinds of things. You have to figure out also these, because otherwise it will be a lot of disruption. You cannot focus on your ideal partner or to find the ideal partner, because there are the filters. And when you said people meet at festivals under the influence of something, substance, then basically they want to connect, so maybe they use the substances because of that. And why the preventive work is important is because you will connect people consciously. You practice how to express yourself consciously, how to talk about difficult things, how to share anything that is inside me that I have a fear of judging or whatever, no experience how to talk about emotions. So this setup is a harder setup, but at the festivals you don't need...
I don't think it's harder. I don't think
It
it's
just
harder.
feels-
It's just that we haven't learned the right way. You know, we haven't learned that it can be really easy. You know, we haven't been taught how to handle pain. We haven't been taught how to honor a relationship. We haven't been taught how to be vulnerable in a relationship, or to be trusting in a relationship, or accountability in a relationship. We haven't been taught these things. That's why it seems hard. But it's actually really easy. There's 5 things you only need to do in a relationship or with yourself. Is to create a high level of trust within yourself and show a lot of trust to the other person. to honor yourself in all ways. You honor your thoughts, honor your emotion, honor your sexuality, honor your body, and do the same with your partner. And then you have to be allowance. You have to allow everything to be exactly how it's supposed to be. Don't try to change anything. Just watch it as it unfolds and be trustworthy, be honoring while you're observing it. And then you need to be vulnerable. You have to communicate that you have fear, that you have shame, all these things. And then you have to be grateful. Grateful for everything you have and everything you get. And that is actually pretty simple. It's very simple. If you follow those 5 things, trust, allowance, gratitude, honor, and vulnerability. If you do those 5, it's easy.
Now the 90% of the men is in my mind that I meet.
Yeah.
who just at work, for example, they don't even brave to say why they grateful for the day.
Yeah.
And we start from there, from many cases. So women's, make sure find the people in these environments, for example,
Yeah.
where we work with people who wants to be open and wants to follow these principles.
Yeah. The thing is that I worked with a sales personnel once. He was like the top seller in his company, right? He came in and he just blew all the records, and then he dropped down. His performance went down, and then he came to me and he goes, "I used to be number 1. I don't have the motivation. I don't have the drive. I need to do something. Can you help me?" And the only thing we focused on was gratitude. So every time he was talking to clients, he was talking to them with gratitude. When he was sitting face to face, he was talking to them with the feeling of gratitude. When he come home, he was grateful about his house, his car, his wife, his kids, and then boom, right back on top again. So the thing is, gratitude is for fucking tough guys. And when you look at the best people in business, even if it's the good side of business or the bad side, if you're grateful, you create more stuff. But it's really weird that not everybody else is doing this because it's so fucking simple.
And that's just one.
Strange.
That's just one from the 5.
Exactly.
So the preventive work is this.
Yeah.
Finding out how to practice all these 5, because it's also part of the rewiring of the brain. So what is going on with the hypnosis that you get from the social media and from scrolling and all this? You rewire your brain to the easy way of living and being numbed and disconnected. But then when you have a real connection with a lot of situations to handle, then your brain, which is rewired to get out of hard things by scrolling or using drugs, whatever is your escape, doesn't matter. But how we should rewire the brain is this, to connect to the important inner works and practice them. And as you said, once you do this, it's also easier to attract someone and having a good connection. So preventive work. I'm a health and safety manager. I have to talk about this every time.
Boom.
And the good thing I see, because at work people can die, and unfortunately in real life too. Unfortunately, again, I just got the information last week that one of my colleagues died by suicide, and one of my colleagues' wife also died because of suicide, because of the divorce. People are not ready to face too difficult times, and once there is a very difficult time, they think that's too much and I want to get rid of all. If you have the preventive work, the inner work, finding all these tools that are needed to survive, feel good, it doesn't matter what will comes, right?
Yeah.
Because this is your anchor. What is here, what you build here, is your anchor to life and to a good life.
Yeah. I think there's a really good question that I've used for myself a lot, and I use it with a lot of clients. If I took away all my money, my house, my work, my business, my car, my everything, and the only thing you sit is like maybe you just have some clothes and you have a suitcase with your toothbrush and whatever, how would you feel then? That is a good question. And to and to constantly strive and thrive to be happy with nothing is the key to everything. The reason people go to these festivals and take these drugs is not necessarily because they're damaged. It's just that they've been taught that happiness is outside of you. So they're constantly searching for happiness out here, in the car, in the cabin, in the next trip, in the next restaurant, in the next partner, the next partner, and the next partner. Happiness is within. Everything out there is just a mirror of what's already within yourself. So if we've been taught at school to find happiness with nothing, we wouldn't be doing these stupid things that we're doing. Taking all these drugs to feel a certain embodiment and energy in order to attract the right woman. And the thing is, like, if you really find that inner happiness within yourself, everybody wants to have what you have. But then you don't want to be with those people because they're very desperate. They're like hungry ghosts. I don't know if you've heard that metaphor. They're just constantly searching for the next thing outside of them to make them feel satisfied because they're not happy with what they have. So that's the key. That's the key.
And it's important that we understand all, and what we do, we want you to get ready for a happy life, which takes time. Have to attend to workshops, retreats, constantly doing the mind work. So it's not a quick fix. It's rewiring the brain to better. So this is what we are talking about. That is important to understand that it's a work. It's just like a working out, but it's mental working out. So,
but it could also go fast. It doesn't have to go slow. I think that's an illusion in this working on yourself thing. It could go fast, depending on how fast, how much do you want it. If you're gonna learn how to be a cook, right? You don't have to spend years learning how to be a cook. I don't know, how much time do you spend to be a good cook?
I grew up in the kitchen, so...
How much time do you spend doing things that you love? Once you love something, you want to do it. You know, so you're just going to make happiness your number one priority. If you want to go out and get a job, you can. Most people in the world can get a job within 3 to 6 months, or maybe a year, unless you're very, very, very unlucky or unfortunate because of you living in a country where there's no jobs available or whatever. But most people in the Western world can get a job within 3 to 6 to 12 months. Not the favorite job in the world, but a job. You know? And that's because we just decide, I want this, I need this, and I'm going to work for it. So self-development to get into enlightenment or happiness can go fast, if you want it to go fast. There's a saying, which is one of my favorite ones. If you're seeking enlightenment, why don't you lighten the fuck up?
It can be that fast.
I saw Tony Robbins in a coaching thing in the 90s, and there was this woman. So, I'm so depressed. My life is so shitty, and blah 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 blah. And then he said, "When was the last time you had an orgasm?" I don't know, a month ago or 2 weeks ago. Are you thinking about it now? Yeah, I am. Oh, do you feel depressed now? No, I don't. So that's how fast it can change. We have this belief that everything takes time and it is slow, but it can happen really fast. And especially in the self-development space, everybody says it's hard work. Yeah, it's hard work, but it can go fast. You just have to embrace that it's hard work. And people say it's very painful and you have to meet yourself. Well, if you meet yourself in pain with pleasure, it can go fast. So, yeah. Sorry, that was a big of a moment I had just had there.
Well, it's just any time when you have any kind of inspiration, bring it in.
Ba-boom.
So, make the self-development joyful, possible.
Yeah.
What I said yesterday to my client, just look at yourself and the position where you have been 1 year ago, 2 years ago, or 3, and where are you now? She's already doing a conscious work. She's more aware of what's going on in her mind. And I said, this is a very big advantage already you have. Think about this. And then quickly it shifted the thing inside her, because she just want to get things done, be happy and everything. And I said, yeah, but just look at yourself. You are already on a good spot. Many people just live unconsciously. You already more conscious about your habit, everything. That's where everything starts. You have to develop more self-awareness, and then things will be easier. And going back to the relationship, you will not have to struggle in the relationship and processing breakup and all these things. Breakups are part of life, but if you do the conscious work, there will be less breakups, there will be more success, and hopefully at the next summer season or this summer season you will find the right partner, or just feel better and find your balance. What is the name of your groups for men's?
For men it's Kraftkara, but the best thing to follow is my Instagram account. That's where I put out all my stuff.
Okay.
Because we don't have a website or groups or this and that. So Eirik Skarholt at Instagram is the best way to find it.
You will see this in the description, and I will start the Brave Heart and Rave Heart workshops, which is about being in a relationship or after, or wanting to be in, and all the related inner work. So in Oslo, we are providing this for you, and hopefully see more happy people soon.
Can I add one thing?
Yes.
On the relationship part, because people fail to stay long enough in order to change the pain. So the more you stay in the relationship and you do the work, you go from a committed relationship, you're committed and you're investing time in each other. And once you've done that for a long period of time, you come to the next level, which is devotion. So you're basically like a monk coming into the temple and praying into the temple. That's devotion. So you're devoted to the relationship and your woman or your man. And that's when the sex really becomes so fucking awesome. And not just the sex, but I'm a man, I think about sex all the time, so that's how it goes. But there's a lot of other benefits as well. And then once you've devoted enough for a long, long time, you go into worshipping mode. You're basically worshiping your partner like a god. And you're worshiping yourself like a god, and he or she is worshiping you like a god. That's how fucking powerful this stuff is. So we just need to stay with the pain, break through the pain, and then maybe some new pains come up, but just face it and face it and face it and face it and face it. And you get to these new levels of awareness where you're basically living and breathing physically like in bliss with your relationship. That's the relationship I have currently.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish the best for you too, and watch all the podcasts previously recorded. See you next time. And of course, subscribe and share this with everyone. Thank you.
Boom.